I stood in Venice on the Bridge of Sighs, a palace and a prison on each hand. I saw from out the wave her structures rise, as from the stroke of the enchanter's wand. 1,000 years their cloudy wings expand around me, and a dying glory smiles over the far times when many a subject land looked to the winged lion's marble piles, where Venice sat in state, throned on her 100 isles. In Venice Tasso's echoes are no more, and silent rolls the songless gondolier. Her palaces are crumbling to the shore, and music meets not always now an ear. Those days are gone, but beauty still is here. States fall, arts fade, but nature doth not die, nor yet forget how Venice once was dear, the pleasant place of all festivity, the revel of the earth, the masque of Italy. But unto us she hath a spell beyond, her name in story and her long array of might shadows whose dim forms despond above the dogeless city's vanished sway. Ours is a trophy which will not decay, with the Rialto, Shylock, and the Moor, and Pierre cannot be swept or worn away. The keystones of the arch, though all were o'er, for us repeopled were the solitary shore. The beings of the mind are not of clay, essentially immortal they create, and multiply in us a brighter ray, and more beloved existence, that which fate prohibits to dull life in this our state of mortal bondage by these spirits supplied. First exiles, then replaces what we hate, watering the heart whose early flowers have died, and with a fresher growth replenishing the void. I've taught me other tongues, and in strange eyes have made me not a stranger to the mind, which is itself, no changes brings surprise, nor is it harsh to make, nor hard to find, a country with I, or without mankind. Yet was I born where men are proud to be, not without cause, and should I leave behind the inviolate island of the sage and free, and seek me out a home by a remoter sea. Perhaps I loved it well, and should I lay my ashes in soil which is not mine, my spirit shall resume it if we may, unbodied choose a sanctuary I twine, my hopes of being remembered in my line, with my land's language, if too fond and far, these aspirations in their scope incline, if my fame should be as my fortunes are, of hasty growth and blight and dull oblivion bar. The spouseless Adriatic mourns her lord, and annual marriage now no more renewed, the Bucentaur lies rotting unrestored, neglected garment of her widowhood. Saint Mark yet sees his lion where he stood, stand but in mockery of his withered power, over the proud place where an emperor sued, and monarchs gazed and envied in the hour when Venice was a queen with an unequaled dower. The Swabian sued, and now the Austrian reigns, an emperor tramples where an emperor knelt. Kingdoms are shrunk to provinces and chains, clank over sceptred cities, nations melt. From power's high pinnacle when they have felt the sunshine for a while, and downward go, like glowline loosened from the mountain's belt. Oh, for 1 hour of blind old Dandolo, the octogenarian chief, Byzantion's conquering foe. Before St. Mark still glow his steeds of brass, their gilded collars glittering in the sun. But is not Doria's menace come to pass? Are they not bridled Venice, lost and won? Her 1300 years of freedom done, sinks like a seaweed into whence she rose. Better be whelmed beneath the waves and shun, even in destruction's depth, her foreign foes, from whom submission wrings an infamous repose. Statues of glass all shivered the long file of her dead doges are declined to dust. Where they dwelt, the vast and sumptuous pile bespeaks the pageant of their splendid trust. Their sceptre broken and their sword in rust have yielded to the stranger empty halls, thin streets and foreign aspects such as must too oft remind her who and what enthralls, have flung a desolate cloud over Venice's lovely walls. Thus Venice, if no stronger claim were thine, were all thy proud historic deeds forgot, thy choral memory of the bard divine, thy love of Tasso should have cut the knot, which ties thee to thy tyrants, and thy lot is shameful to the nations most of all. Albion, to thee, the ocean queen should not abandon ocean's children in the fall. Of Venice, think of thine, despite thy watery wall. I loved her from my boyhood, she to me was as a fairy city of the heart, rising like water columns from the sea, of joy the sojourn, and of wealth the mart. And Otway, Ratcliffe, Schiller, Shakespeare's art had stamped her image in me, and even so, although I found her thus, we did not part, perchance even dearer in her day of woe than when she was a boast, a marvel, and a show.